Barrier Fencing Supply is a fencing wholesaler and distributor based out of Supply, North Carolina. Whether you need fencing, fencing products, fencing accessories, or various other construction materials related to your fencing needs, we have the products you are looking for at today's most competitive prices around. Ask us today about bulk pricing packages. Call 910-269-8661. Contact us by email at sales@barrierfencingproducts.com. Barrier Fencing Supply, proud supporter of the Voice of Victory Lane podcast. Hey, good evening, race fans, and welcome back to another inside edition of the Voice of Victory Lane podcast with Kip Thompson. We just heard from one of our big sponsors, Barrier Fencing Supply out of Supply, North Carolina. Huge supporters of our show, and we're so excited to have them as part of our team. Tonight's show is also brought to you in part by Atwell Exterior Services out of Greenville, North Carolina. Trevor Atwell and Team Atwell Racing. Those guys do a phenomenal job with their roofing business, and we are going to hear from them as we close out tonight's show. So let's jump right into the show. Let's go to Oxford, North Carolina, and check in with John Eller, driver the number 5, Four Boys Racing, MBE limited late model, who picked up the I-95 late model challenge win at County Line Raceway this past weekend. Hey man, congratulations on the win and welcome to Victory Lane here tonight.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you for having me.
Man, let's talk about being at County Line in Elm City, North Carolina, a track that has a lot of character. You kind of never know what you're going to get when you get there. It's always racy. It's a great place to race. It's a great place, to watch a race. And you guys evidently had all of your stuff together, man, because starting on the outside beside Russell Irwin in that 22, not an easy task.
Not at all. So it's one of them things that you have to have all the cards fall your way. You have to have a good pill in qualifying, because qualifying down there definitely sets your night. If you go out too late, it's real dry and crummy. So getting a good starting spot at any racetrack is important, but it's especially important at County Line. And County Line is one of them places that it shows out the talent of the driver. It shows out where your car's at, because if either one of them's off, you're going to be way, way off. So Saturday night, we was fortunate enough. We got it all on the target and was able to inch it closer to the bullseye.
Well, talking about it, when you go out to qualify, people just don't understand, and I'll let you elaborate on it because you're behind the seat of a race car quite often. Those cars at County Line Raceway, that's a fast little place down there. Jimmy and Brenda, man, they do such a great job, there in Elm City. And when you go out to qualifying is so very important, man. You got to lay down a near perfect lap to be where you really want to be. And I've said this before with other drivers, and I'll let you talk about it as well. People talk about, man, he's only a 10th off. There's only a 10th between them, but being on the wrong side of that 10th can really dictate your night real quick.
Absolutely. That 10th of a second, it can either make your night really good or mediocre or really bad. So, it's hard. And County Line has helped teach me a lot of discipline, because your whole night, in a sense, is riding on 2 laps. Them 2 laps is going to set the attitude of the rest of your night. If you come in, you're starting in the top 3, top 4, you've got a shot. You 5th, 6th on back, it teaches you patience, and it teaches you to go home and go to work on your stuff to try to qualify better. The place race is great. But them guys down there, that's a great group of racers. They race clean. We all race with one another with respect. And it's one of them things that it gets bottom dominant. So, qualifying sets where you're going to be in that field. And there's no doubt in my mind, we've got the toughest group of limited late model racers on the East Coast in our region here, between Fayetteville, County Line, Brinkleyville. You'll not unload with a tougher group of guys. So, I guess that's one thing that made this win this past Saturday night so special is, in a sense, that's my Lucas Oil win, because you're definitely going up against the best to hold steering wheels around here.
Well, I've said this a whole lot on different shows with various drivers, talking to race promoters, series directors who are coming to my hometown racetrack, the Fayetteville Motor Speedway, but it kind of plays the same deal wherever you go. This region, man, where we are, when you start talking about the talent and the guys who drive that you face week in and week out, to talk about capturing the win Saturday night, yeah, man, what an accomplishment. But, man, when you run down the top 10 finishers of that race, you yourself takes the checker flag, followed by Russell Irwin, Matthew Bissett, Sean Harrell, Michael Batten, the Outlaw, Dustin Mitchell in 6, Timmy Mills, Michael Roush, the House of Roush, as they call County Line, Cy Nelms Jr. and Cody Wright. I mean, it does not, for call it local if you want to, it don't get any tougher than that, man. It is these guys, everyone's on their A game, and you got to make sure that there's a couple of things you want to do. You want to unload fast, you want to hit the track fast, and when you load that piece up, you want it to have been fast all night long. And that's what happened for you on Saturday night. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. Yes, sir. You take that group that's in that top 10 right there. A lot of them have run supers, some kind of touring series, whether it's the Ultimates, the Carolina Clash, the Steel Block Bandits, and then them guys amongst them, there's no telling how many hundreds of wins was in that top 10 Saturday night. So it was amongst a very prestigious group of racers there. And, I've raced with them guys a lot, and I've come out on the bumper end of that, but never on the other side. So it was just, I respect them guys a lot, and to get in there and race with them guys, a lot of them have taught me a lot down through the years just following them. And the amount of talent we were racing with has helped me get better as a racer. And, just to be in that group, just to be mentioned in that group is awesome. And then to get the win is just the cherry on top.
Yeah, well, you talk about one of those drivers, Michael Roush. That place has been touted as the House of Roush, And the 2023 season, I mean, he pulled off a major accomplishment. He did a 3-track repeat. He won at Halifax, he won at County Line, and then he came down to Fayetteville as we kicked off the 23 season. And, to do that with that same group, night in and night out, same drivers here and there, and all these different tracks, and him to come out on top. And man, he was in that field amongst there too. That Sweet Potato Express, man, is always on a roll. But then, the other ones too. Matthew Bissett has really had a couple of good runs here as of late. Russell Irwin always been a contender. You know what I mean? Cy Nelms Jr., a hard-nosed racing driver there too. And it is a huge accomplishment for you. And congratulations again on picking up that first I-95 late model challenge this past weekend at County Line. So let's talk about some of the people that help you get to where you are able to contend to be up at the top, but also those guys that help burn that midnight oil with you and help you get into victory lane there at County Line.
Absolutely. Well, the first one I got to thank is the good Lord Jesus Christ for letting us do this. We've been blessed as a family. It's 4 Boys Racing and 4 Boys Racing Supply. This is definitely a family ordeal. All of us boys is involved in racing in some way or another. And I got to thank our mom and dad for getting us in this opportunity to be able to just be a part of this sport. Secondly, my wife and my 2 kids, Adeline and Branch, they let me run up and down the roads and do this week in, week out. And, I'm not at home all the time, and they're understanding of that. So definitely got to thank the wife and kids for that. My little brother, Jordan, and Matthew has really stepped up to the plate this year and helped me do a lot. Here, Mark and Luke, as they're out on the road chasing their dream with the Lucas Oil late models and Southern Nationals with the Kohler Motorsports guys, and they're having a great success there. So we're proud of them. Definitely got to thank Dean and Scott and Steve for everything they've done for me this year. That's kind of the crew, and them guys is with me week in, week out. Got to thank NC Industrial Equipment, 4 Boys Racing Supply, MBE Race Cars, All-Star Performance, B&O Racing Shocks. Without them guys behind us, it would definitely make it a lot more difficult. But because of them, we've been able to get good equipment and run up front.
Well, when you talk about the first one, you want to give credit to, your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, a godly family, that's got to be pretty neat. And I'm just sitting here imagining them in my mind and hearing the names of the family. Y'all must have had the Bible open in the labor and delivery room. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Is that kind of where that came from?
It started with John. That was just a family name, and then after that, I believe they just reading through the New Testament. So, and when we run out of the 4 Gospels, they swapped to the River Jordan because it was in the Bible. So, 4 boys, we had one sneak up on Mom and Daddy, so we had him. He's Jordan, so he's the deer hunter of the family, but he's taken on a lot of responsibility in this race cars. When Mark and Luke hit the road, he stepped up to the plate. He's 13 years old, and he's an amazing kid.
Well, that's awesome. That's a cool story, man, and a tribute to your family, man, for, the family that prays together, stays together, and I believe the family that races together, they stay together too. It sounds like that's a winning combination for the Ellers and the Four Boys Racing Supply and the whole entire family there. Any other sponsors out there that help you guys that you want to give a shout out to as well?
Man, there's so many little product sponsors that help us out. I just want to say that if they're seeing this or they're hearing this, they know who they are, and I appreciate it more than they'll ever know.
Well, let's talk about the remaining part of 2023. We have gone through pretty much what you would consider the first half of the season. And, now we're in part two. We're about to kick it back off again at Fayetteville Motor Speedway on September the 23rd with the running of the Big C Memorial with the Carolina Clash Super Late Models back inside the Carolina Bull Ring. What's up next? What's the following, the next thing on the schedule for you and your schedule, and maybe some goals that you'd like to see yourself reach with your race team for the remaining part of 23?
So pretty much the rest of the year, what I've got on the schedule is pretty much a bunch of big money races. We've got the Carolina Clash is coming to County Line. We're going to be running for $5,000 there. Probably going to hit up Ultimate Motor Speedway Park or Friendship. A lot of people know that. September the 30th with Steel Block Bandits. Kind of go back for the race for the kids. And, of course, we got to try to cap it off with that Cash Money 100. So that's kind of the remaining of the year for me.
Yeah, that we always look forward to that. We're so excited to have that Cash Money 100 with the Steel Block Bandits back at Fayetteville Motor Speedway, a place where that race originated. Had it back there last year for the first time in a few years, and man, what a show. 100-lap race. The guys did such a phenomenal job, man, with track prep. We're 80 laps into the race, man, and it's anybody's race. And we look and hope to have the surface just like that again. And man, you're right. 100 laps, $10,000 inside the Fayetteville Motor Speedway. And as racy as that place has been, with the magnitude and the drivers that come with that series as well, with the Steel Block Bandits, it's going to be very, very exciting.
Yeah, it's no doubt. If folks that can't make a World of Outlaw or a Lucas show, I'm going to put this right up there next to the them type of shows. The way it was last year, I mean, you could run the bottom, the middle, the top, and I certainly hope they get it back to that, because you could beat the boards down, or you could run the hub, and either which way, it was a good racy racetrack. Had a few bumps here and there, which gave it character. It definitely put it more in the driver's hands, and we'll see with this new tire we're on this year. That's going to come to play a big role in this thing with not being on the old 1350s, 70s, the stuff that everybody's comfortable with. So now that we're on this new National Late Model tire, I look forward to put on a really, really good show.
Well, we look forward to seeing you there. And on behalf of the Voice of Victory Lane podcast, our crew, we want to wish you the best of luck for the remaining part of 2023. But before we step off of the show tonight, let's talk real quick about Four Boys Racing Products and how people can get in touch with you guys and all of the things and services that you guys offer to racers in our community.
Yeah, sure. So we do everything from sell the race cars from bare frame to complete, to sell every nut, bolt, and part it takes to put one together and get it to the track from week to week. So anybody that needs anything in the racing world, give Lori a call, 919-339-8575. And between her or Barry, one of them, we'll get them fixed up in one way or another.
That sounds like a deal, man. Congratulations again on capturing the big win at County Line Raceway this past weekend, and good luck to you, as it sounds like the 16th of September, man, the months are flying by. September the 16th, you'll be back at County Line again for that big show with the Carolina Clash Super Late Series. And, let me tell you, man, what a crowd that brings to. We talk about drivers at an I-95 race. Well, it's just going to turn it up a couple of notches, because, like you say, when you go to races like that with the talent we have in this area, local boys, anybody, it doesn't matter. You're going to get your best shot from everybody. We wish you the best of luck, man.
Thank you, Kip. I appreciate it.
All right, folks, that is John Eller out of Oxford, North Carolina. He picked up the I-95 Late Model Challenge win this past weekend at the County Line Raceway. He's going to also be going back to County Line again the 16th of this month for the Carolina Clash Super Late Models. Hopefully, we'll see him at the Fayetteville Motor Speedway for the Clash when they come back for the Big C Memorial. And also, he'll be capping off the year there with the Cash Money 100 laps on dirt with the Steel Block Bandits. Tonight's show is being brought to you in part by Barrier Fencing Supply and also Atwell Exterior Services. We're going to hear from them as we exit tonight's show. But as we leave every show, we'll do it tonight the same way we always do it. Be on the lookout. We could be coming to a racetrack near you, and you could be who we're talking about next, right here on the Voice of Victory Lane podcast. Everyone, thanks for watching, and we'll see you at a racetrack real soon. Good night, everybody.
Atwell Exterior Services and Team Atwell ride with a winner. Congratulations to Trevor Atwell and the team at Atwell Exterior Services in Greenville, North Carolina. Atwell is the top-rated roofing and exterior renovations company in racing country, and Team Atwell has sponsored so many great racing teams for years. Ride with a winner on your roof or on the track. Atwell Exterior Services. Atwell Exterior Services and Team Atwell Racing. Ride with a winner.